Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word Live and the Chinese Grand Prix race watch along, race number 3 of 21. Long time still to go. I hope everyone's well in chat this morning and everyone tuning in as well. So to get the disclaimer out of the way right from the start for anyone tuning in later, no race footage in this stream. There is absolutely no way I can show it for what I believe are blatantly obvious copyright reasons, but apparently not. Anyway, also, apologies that I'm late. We're having a few technical difficulties, or the guys at Planet F1 are having a few technical difficulties, so live timing isn't working at the moment. So I'm going to try and keep you as updated as I can, but they are working hard behind the scenes to get it sorted. So fingers crossed I'll be able to get it sorted for 7:10 in the UK, so about 20 minutes time. If not, like I say, I will do my best, do my absolute best to keep you updated. Yes, we're going to start though, as we tend to in these streams, by having a look back at qualifying and the results and what is the final grid. I do like early season. None of these penalties and whatnot making things more complicated than they need to be. But Valtteri Bottas will start on pole position ahead of teammate Lewis Hamilton. Another Mercedes front row lockout. Both starting on the mediums. There was some confusion in the comment section, the qualifying report. People saying they're starting on that Hamilton's on the softs. He is not. He's definitely on the mediums. As that graphic shows, actually. Sebastian Vettel in third place. I just asked on Twitter, so let me know what you think in the chat. Is this a must-win for Vettel, or is it too early in the season to be discussing that kind of nonsense? I'm just wondering, just watching a few people on social media saying it's too early, some saying that he needs it. So just interested in your opinion. Charles Leclerc fourth in the second. Ferrari, nothing between teammates on this grid, by the way, and it is very much a Noah's Ark grid for the top 10. Max Verstappen in fifth place. Pierre Gasly sixth. Daniel Ricciardo in seventh with Hülkenberg eighth. Kevin Magnussen 9th and Romain Grosjean 10th. So Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Renault, and Haas. Nice and easy. Daniel Ricciardo 11th, free choice of tyre down there, so keep an eye on him this afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Sergio Perez in 12th place, Kimi Raikkonen 13th, Carlos Sainz in 14th, Lando Norris 15th. Not a great Saturday for McLaren, but I think they are hoping to be better on race pace at the very least. Lance Stroll in 16th, the two Williams boys 17th and 18th. Russell just pipping Kubica in that one again. Very fine margins. Alexander Albon. Antonio Giovinazzi will start 19th, but Alex Albon, as far as I understand it, according to the stuff on social media, will be starting from the pit lane after all of those changes following the repairs after his big crash on Friday. So yes, that is your grid as it stands. It'll be scrolling along the bottom of the screen as we go on. Let's see if I can actually, there we go, get to the right screen and get going this morning. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, 1, for a good race, and 2, that I'll be able to be here for the full race. But I'm keeping an eye on YouTube and hoping that the stream will finish. But obviously any copyright strikes could result in the stream ending early and possibly no race reaction stream. But hopefully everything will be fine, and it will be live after the session, about an hour after the race, with Stuart, aka Chainbear, for the race reaction stream. Race or World Championship event number 1000. We want a good race. We want a good race, definitely. There is big intake of breath there from me. I needed it before going to this one. A lot of talk yesterday after qualifying about the incident between Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen. Frankly, a lot of salty fanboys out there who don't like it when you refuse to lay into a driver who inconveniences Max Verstappen. That's the nicest way I can possibly put that one. It's a whole, it is, I said yesterday, it's a storm in a teacup. There's nothing to it. They're on track to race at the end of the day. Even in qualifying, they want to be the quickest. I'm not quite sure what people wanted in that situation. What was Sebastian Vettel supposed to do? Sit back and go, oh well, I won't bother with my second lap because I don't want to upset Max Verstappen or his fans, or you know, what's Daniel Ricciardo supposed to do in that situation, or Nico Hülkenberg? Their job is to get their second laps in, and they got on with it. So although Ferrari and Renault in some people's eyes did, and I tend to agree, send their drivers out probably too late and left it a bit too fine, they got their laps in. Red Bull didn't, and Red Bull are to blame for that. They should have just told Max to get on with it. It's not an attack on Max Verstappen. That's the other thing that upset people yesterday. It's no issue with Max. My thing is with Red Bull strategist. He's not to know. He's not to know what's going on. He doesn't know what the clock isn't ticking down on his steering wheel, as far as I know. So he's relying on the team to say, "Come on, Max, get on with it." And when they did, it was too late at that point. So Vettel did absolutely nothing wrong. He's there to race, and I'd say that whether you believe it or not, I would say that about Verstappen in that instance. I'd say it about Hamilton. I'd say it about any driver on the grid. They're not here to play. After how much of an idiot does Sebastian Vettel look if he goes, I'm not going to pass Max Verstappen to get my lap in because I don't want to upset people. I don't want to break this unwritten rule, which according to at least 5 drivers and a team principal does not exist. He looks an idiot. He has to get his lap in. That is his job, and that was Max Verstappen's job, and it went wrong. So, and Red Bull, quite frankly, screwed him over in that instance. So, there we go. I just don't understand. As I put it on my personal Twitter yesterday, some people are just so over the top with it. It's so unnecessary. It really is. Not every criticism of a team or a driver is hate, is the way to put that, and neither is praise fanboying. So, yeah, I'm going to stop lecturing because that's going to get very boring very quickly for a lot of people. But what it does mean is Max Verstappen comes into the race a little bit fired up, which could give us a lot of action. And I would say, I tend to agree with Red Bull when they said that if he got his second lap in, he could have been lining up in third place. So and the race pace, the Red Bull race pace looks much better than their one lap pace. So they're sitting, I think, quite pretty. Ferrari are going to be looking over their shoulders quite a bit into turn 1. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I'm not sure on who's going to come out on top here because Mercedes had better race pace on Friday than Ferrari. They've locked out the front row, so they have control of strategy. But the one to watch for me, out of that top 6, aside from Max Verstappen, is actually Pierre Gasly. He's on the softs. Everybody ahead of him is on the medium tyres, so that could give him an advantage off the line, which could be huge. But Helmut Marko said on the truck on the driver parade, I was just watching it on Sky, he was asked about what if Pierre Gasly does get the jump, could that happen with him being on the softer tyres? And Marko said it's a possibility or something along those lines, but we have a plan. What that plan is, I'm guessing team orders possibly might come in. But yeah, I think Gasly might be one to just watch early in the race. He could do with a good race, and I think Vettel could as well. It's going to be tasty at the sharp end. I will quickly head over to Pirelli before I do predictions and bits like that. By the way, the drivers, this unwritten rule thing, the drivers that have said it's not true are Leclerc, Magnussen, Hamilton, and Ricciardo. That's 4. There was another one. I can't remember who it was, but there was definitely 5. So, yes, it doesn't exist apparently. I don't know how I kind of agree with what Ricciardo says. I don't understand how it can exist in these situations. But, yeah, nothing from Pirelli at the moment on strategy as far as I can see. So I'll keep an eye on that one. See if we've got anything from Planet F1. See if they've got their live timing going yet. Not at the moment. So, again, you're going to have to listen to me wittering on for a little bit. But I'll keep an eye on the live timing as well. Rosberg. Ex-driver. He was an ex-driver. There's a few that have come out of the woodwork saying a few bits and bobs. But I must say as well, Max did come out post-qualifying and did actually defend Sebastian Vettel in the end. So it's all fine. It means we're going to get a nice spicy race, as Dan would say, hopefully. Predictions, though, for this Grand Prix. If you've got any in the chat, do feel free to pop them in. I'll try and read a few of them out. I think it's going to be tough to beat Mercedes today. Strategy could be key, but they've, like I say, Hamilton not had some particularly brilliant starts so far this season, so that could make a difference there. Ferrari could do with a Vettel or a Leclerc splitting those Mercedes as early in the race as possible, because I think Mercedes can control everything from the front, and that might make things difficult for those behind. Although with cars easy to follow this year, DRS and whatnot, yeah, we'll see. I'll take some of your questions. I was going to do a bit more of a build-up rather than just questions and predictions. We tend to do those towards the end, but obviously I was a little bit later today, so unfortunately I can't really go in. There's not really a lot to say after qualifying. I covered it all in the report yesterday. Just trying to have a quick think off the top of my head. Not really anything. The Haas boys didn't get their laps in, of course. They weren't very happy. By the way, Magnussen not overly confident about his car in the race, whereas Romain Grosjean seems fairly happy with his car in race trim. So quite an interesting one to watch there down at Haas. Lance Stroll is another one to watch coming through the field potentially. I talked about Albon yesterday as well, but certainly keep an eye on Lance Stroll, particularly on the first lap. He's very, very good. Very, very good on that first lap. A lot of people seem to forget. They like to jump in and have a few little digs on young Lance Stroll, but he's never been particularly brilliant on a Saturday, probably apart from Monza in 2017. It was probably his best ever Saturday. So, yes. I've gone too far back on my chat. I'm just having a look now for questions and whatnot. So people are saying, did you see Ocon on the grid walk? I did. Orcs. Him and Lance Stroll. Interviewing Lance Stroll was an interesting one, but they're mates, so they'll be absolutely fine. Bottas wins, says Ava Moore. Apologies straight away. Prediction, Hamilton has a slow start, says JLib86. Jose, Bottas, Verstappen, Hamilton. Bottas with another win, says Casey. Valtteri for the win. A lot of love. A lot of love for Bottas in the chat. A lot of love for Bottas. Leclerc gets his win. It would be nice, actually, to have a new winner for the 1000th Grand Prix. Doesn't necessarily have to be Leclerc, but it would be nice to have a new winner. I don't know how likely that is. I have to, by the way, just looking at the world feed there, I love Daniel Ricciardo's helmet this weekend. Absolutely love it. It looks fantastic. I quite like Hulkenberg's as well, so I'd be more than happy if they wanted to keep them forever. Definitely. A lot of you going with Bottas by the look of it, or at least a Mercedes. Luca has given a shout for Fiat in 7th. Possible, very possible. If you think about, he's got a free choice of tyre, so if he wants to go mediums, he can run long. If he goes with the softs, he's going to be running longer than those on the softs ahead of him because they'll be fresh and the other ones aren't. So yeah, it could happen. I think he's on for points. He's got a very good chance of points, and I think again, we've seen in Bahrain and we saw in Australia that the pace in that Toro Rosso is pretty solid. So yes. Any weather reports, says Steve? That's a very good question. Last I checked, it was windy, cloudy, but dry, and a little bit chilly, apparently, first thing. So, yes. That's as good as you're getting as a weather report, I'm afraid. Racing, morning, mate, says Lewis, Max, and Valtteri. And yeah, very good morning. I think it's about 2 a.m. where you are. So yeah, go to bed. You're crazy. But yeah, Lewis, Max, Valtteri. Hamilton spins, says Aryan. You never know. Can Daniel magically win this Grand Prix? Lol, says Captain Amazing. 7th on the grid, is he? He'd need some chaos. He'd need some chaos, but you never know. Last year, don't forget, Red Bull were good on pace, but weren't on for the win, and then out comes the safety car. Out comes the safety car and completely changes that one. So, yeah, you never know, but I'd be very, very surprised. Very, very surprised. Annette saying I should work for the Met Office with my fantastic weather reports. Morning to Joshy Boy 2408 just tuning in. First lap shenanigans equals Verstappen win, says JL. I'm happy for any shenanigans. Any shenanigans at any point would be fantastic. Casey's watching at 1 a.m. Where I'm trying to think where that might be. States, maybe, possibly. I got to pick Bottas, but I thought I was going to say Button then. I got to pick Bottas, but way cool if Max pulls it off. It'd be good to see a Red Bull win. It would be good to see a Red Bull win, but I think. Back to that earlier question, let me know again in chat. I didn't quite catch any of those because I was busy reading from another screen, but I don't think this is must-win for Vettel. I know that's nothing to do with Red Bull. I don't think this is must-win for Vettel because I do believe it's way too early. 3 races out of 21. I think this is a conversation for maybe 3 or 4 races down the line, but I think he could do with it for his confidence. Took a bit of a hit in Bahrain with that spin. So, yeah, they weren't great in Australia. I think he could do with it for him more than anything. And it would just kickstart his season. I don't think he absolutely... It's not essential. It's not going to destroy his season if he doesn't win it now, but it might just help him kickstart his year. But we'll see. We'll see. 4 p.m. here in Australia. Nearly tea time or dinner time or whatever you call it. I'm so uncontrollably Lincolnshire, it's insane. So tea time for me. Marco, this is live commentary. You'll not be able to watch race here. Absolutely. It will. It should be. It usually is live timing, but I'm just waiting for Planet F1 to get in touch and let me know if they've got it sorted. At the moment, the site is still down on the live timing side, so you are going to have to listen to me crofting my backside off. Although I will say I'm going to try and lay off with the commentary. A few people pointed out yesterday after the qualifying watch along, which is it's a fair comment. It was actually quite nice to get some constructive feedback back that wasn't full of abuse. It was quite pleasant. That were just saying that I need to either listen to commentary a bit more or pay a bit more attention to what's going on track, because I tend to miss things. They said it a bit nicer than that, to be fair. That was just me being quite sharp with it. But yes, the music has started, by the way. The music has started for the 1000th World Race Grand Championship Prix thing in China. A few people unhappy it's China, by the way. I was looking on social media, people saying it should have been Silverstone, but you can't have Silverstone in April. They've tried it once and it was a disaster. And absolutely, it gave us a pretty good race. But not so good for those that were travelling there. It was chaos, absolute chaos. So, yes. What stream do you watch? Says Alex. I watch the. I'm really stupid and give all my money to Sky for like practically everything. So yes, I watch it on Sky, but you can watch it on F1 TV if it's available in your region, and I'm sure there are plenty of streams out there somewhere, but I can't promote them because it'll get me in even more trouble. I struggle to keep these streams up as they are, to be quite frank, but yes. So once again, just very quickly, no race footage in the stream. Obviously, we'll be live again after the race, about an hour afterwards, with Stuart for a bit of race reaction. Not a review, just a bit of race reaction for half an hour, 40 minutes, so like 3 hours or so, something along those lines. And then obviously the debrief will be up tomorrow around about 4 p.m. UK time. I try and get it up between 4 and 5 as people are getting home from school and work and uni. I think it's Easter holidays now, so maybe it doesn't matter quite so much. But yes, I like to get that one out. Special intro indeed. Just watching it now while I'm chittering away. I've got my headphones set up a bit louder as well. Just make sure I don't pick up on the mic, because that's the last thing I need, so I can definitely hear what's going on. Even though Crofty shouts. I know I'm quite a shouter when I get going, but Crofty is, yes, quite a bit much in your ear sometimes. But just watching a really good intro. Quite a lot of the 1000th race build-up's been very nice. I mean, some of it's a bit... should we go with the word cheesy? A little bit cheesy, but I've quite enjoyed it looking back in history. Sky did a great piece on the first race. That was a good one to watch. There's some classic ones. And the little feature they did as well, I'm hoping that maybe goes up on social media will be nice. I doubt it, because Sky are quite tight with that, but it would be nice if they did. There was a lovely piece between Martin Brundle and Christian Horner on the first Red Bull win back in 2009 in China. Really good piece, really enjoyable to watch. Just watching some of the build-up now on some of the action. Turn 1, Vettel and Raikkonen in turn 1. Then you got Vettel passing Ricciardo in turn 6. That was a cracking move. I remember that one. That was a really good move. That's before the channel existed back in 2017. So I was watching this on the sofa, getting very excited. That was literally wheel to wheel, but the favourite overtaking place definitely turn 14. Max Verstappen up the inside of Sebastian Vettel, and yeah, that went really well. That went really, really well. Yes, James, I tend to agree. All the lens flare stuff is a bit over the top and a bit... I'd much rather see the footage, maybe just enhanced a little bit for HD or whatever, but it is a bit over the top, I'll admit. Like the classic stuff, it looks worse in. I don't know what restrictions they have, but tyres, by the look of it, they're on the timing screens now. I don't know if these are official. I would assume they are. Quickly through the grid, actually. Bottas on pole from Hamilton. Vettel in third with Leclerc in fourth, of course, in this Noah's Ark grid. Been a while since we've seen one like this. Verstappen ahead of Gasly. Gasly much better Saturday, but quite a way off the pace of his teammates, so could do with a decent race. Ricciardo seventh and Hülkenberg eighth. Is this the running order? Magnussen ninth, Grosjean in 10th place. That's a good one. Kvyat will obviously be in 11th. Definitely keep an eye on him. Sergio Perez as well. I haven't said much about him. I think he could do quite well today. Kimi Raikkonen 13th. Again, keep an eye on him. And the two McLarens. Carlos Sainz in 14th. And Lando Norris down in 15th. Lance Stroll again, not great on a Saturday, down in 16th place. 17th and 18th. Russell and Kubica. So they're going to actually have to look in their mirrors for a change off the line. And then it's Giovinazzi in 19th. And Alexander Albon with penalties left, right and centre. He will start in the pit lane. Just going back to my screen now to have a quick look. The tyres that have been... It looks like they've been confirmed. So, your top 5 are all starting on the mediums, as we know yesterday from qualifying. You've then got Gasly, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Magnussen and Grosjean all on the softs. And then everybody else, all the way down to Kubica in 18th, is on the mediums. And then Giovinazzi and Albon all on the soft. Are both on the soft. So, yes. And just a quick heads up. Again, singling out idiots rather than focusing on the vast majority of positive stuff from you guys. Any racism or anything like that in the chat, you won't just be blocked, you will be reported to YouTube. So don't do it. It's pathetic. What do we got? So, so actually, the strategy-wise, I think the top 5 will be fine, but Gasly, Ricciardo, Hulkenberg, Magnussen, Grosjean, there's all a big risk here that they're going to fall into that pack. And that could make things quite tasty. They're already off on the formation lap. The strategy prediction, 17 to 27 to get rid of the mediums, to put on the hards. 2 lots of mediums. 12 to 21 and 26 to 36. So it's looking like a medium to hard race, but that could have been worded better. But yeah, I've heard 2 stops. People have been talking about 2 stops a lot. Yes. I'm not sure. I think if anybody's going to 2-stop, it's going to be Red Bull. They might as well. And that was Gasly. Is that Verstappen coming back through slow off the line? Must have missed that one. Let's have a look. What's happened? Oh, and Verstappen spun. Max Verstappen spun on the formation lap. Whoops. Of course, that was obviously somebody else's fault. Gustav, lap counter, question mark. Yes, I'm working on it. I'm talking to a couple of websites, see if I can get one for Baku, but I couldn't get it sorted for this weekend, unfortunately. You'd be surprised how long it takes to sort these things out. You think it's just a case of sending an email, can I use your timing? Yes, that's fine. Oh, and we've got Kubica in a spin as well. This race is kicking off before we've even got going. But yeah, so keep an eye on that. Maybe warming tyres up a bit too aggressively. But yeah, it seems to take forever to negotiate anything for some reason. Let's have a look. So Kubica, he just spins it out the corner. This is bizarre. This could be a very tasty start. So on the formation lap, we've already had Verstappen and Kubica in a spin. A couple of people asking if we're going to the watch on screen. Live timing isn't working at Planet F1 at the moment. They are going to message me as soon as it's sorted. They are working their backsides off and trying to get it going again. So I do apologise, but you have to just do with my updates, unfortunately. But as soon as that's sorted, we will head over to the watch on screen. We definitely will, but hopefully it'll be sorted as soon as possible. If not, you're just going to have to muddle through this week, unfortunately. But they're coming around to the grid now. Valtteri Bottas leading them through. It looks like nobody else has spun at this stage, but 2 spinners on the formation lap. Interesting. Verstappen back in position. I assume Kubica will be back in position. It won't take long to get there, will it? So, be interesting off the line. If anybody's got cold tyres, we might see some spins early on. This is the bit, isn't it? This is it. This is when the butterflies start as an F1 fan. Gets very excited. Or exciting rather than exciting. Just watching them lining up now. See if I spot anything. Looks like Leclerc's, yeah. Martin Brother just pointing out that Leclerc's pointing in towards the left, so he's decided what he's doing. Lining up with 19 on the grid, of course. Alexander Albon is in the pits, and we'll start there. Deep breath for this first lap. This could be brilliant. Here is a green flag. So on come the lights and those ridiculous beeps, I'm guessing. Yep. We've got the 5 lights. Race 1000 is go. It's a good start from Bottas. Looks like Hamilton a little bit sluggish off the line, although I say that, he's ahead of Bottas. I'll shut up. I was looking at the wrong Mercedes. But Lewis Hamilton takes the lead through turn 1, and it looks as though I think Leclerc is up the inside of Vettel as well. We've got the 2 Red Bulls side by side with one of the Renaults, which looks like Daniel Ricciardo trying to get on the outside and out the inside of one of the Red Bulls. Very close to contact through there, but Lewis Hamilton does take the lead from Valtteri Bottas, and Charles Leclerc is ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who looks to be struggling for grip early on, because here go the Red Bulls having a little look at Vettel not quite getting that one through. Everybody through those first sequence of corners without any... Oh, we got a bump at the back. Oh, that's nasty. That's a retirement. I've just jinxed Lando Norris's race. Absolutely, definitely. That was a big bump at the back between a Toro Rosso by the looks of it and a McLaren or a yellow flag. So we've got a really good... Is that Perez? Perez up to P8. Unbelievable start from Perez. fantastic from him. He's going to have to fight off Nico Hülkenberg as they come towards the long straight. A bit of a lock-up from Perez, or a very big one, into that. Let's have a look here. We're on board with Kvyat. So he comes... Oh, he's just squeezed. Oh, he's hit both McLarens. He hit both of them. So he's oversteered through the corner, bumped into Carlos Sainz, and then bumped into Lando Norris in turn. Well, so that's both McLaren's compromised. So McLaren currently running 19th and 20th. Virtual safety car is deployed. Oh, a bit of chaos there. Lovely. Lovely. We'll go through the order in a minute then. So yes, wow. So what have we got then? So, after that first lap, almost completed the first lap, just pick up some debris now. The Marshal. Let's have another replay here of the incident as Kvyat. So we've got side by side, so many side by side. So Kvyat just sort of understeers into Sainz, and then after hitting Sainz, loses it and hits Norris, who ends up sort of a little bit of air there as well, or a fair bit of air. Yeah, oversteer, sorry, not understeer. Yeah, agree with Martin there. It was a bit clumsy. Is the best way to put that one. But on board with Lando Norris for this one. He's gone very wide. He's just trying to... Oh, I thought that was going over. He probably did as well. That was, yeah, not good. Not good. So virtual safety car is ending. So we've got Carlos Sainz in the pits for front wing repairs, and also Norris is in the pits. So McLaren are double stacking, but the track has gone green. Hamilton leads Bottas, Leclerc, Vettel, Verstappen, Gasly, Ricciardo, Perez, Hülkenberg, Grosjean and Magnussen. It's then Raikkonen, Stroll, Giovinazzi, Russell, Kubica, Kvyat, Albon, Sainz and Norris. Both McLarens in the pits for repairs. Not a good start for them. But at the moment, Leclerc's a good start from him. You hear me tapping away on the keyboard. I do apologise, just trying to see if I can get this timing working. But nothing yet from Planet F1. So apologies once again. I'm sure they send theirs too. As soon as that live timing comes up, we'll go to the watch along screen. But I'll keep a close eye on it. So at the moment, we've got Bottas just about almost a second, 9/10 really, behind teammate Lewis Hamilton. Leclerc 2.6 back on the leader. Vettel, 1.3 behind his teammate. We've got a Renault here shaping up for a move on. Sergio Perez, that's Nico Hülkenberg. What can he do? Into the hairpin, has a look, doesn't, not going to get that done. That's a late break, but Perez does lock up. Will he go too deep? Nope, well controlled. And Kimi Raikkonen right on the back of Kevin Magnussen as Hamilton, then Bottas set the fastest laps race. So at the moment, Ferrari, Verstappen's on the move, just sets the fastest lap, but it looks like Ferrari at the moment, that's the fastest lap's just going to tumble, aren't they, as people go across the line. So yeah, pointless calling that out at the moment because Giovinazzi holds it and now Kvyat. So yes, that says it all. But yeah, looking at the moment as though Mercedes have got control here. Long way to go. This is lap 3 of 56. Hamilton saying on team radio he may have hit something. Concerns over his left front, so maybe a bit of, yeah, maybe hit some debris or something. But he's pulling away. He's pulling away 1.3 clear of Bottas at the moment, so obviously nothing too concerning there. Vettel and Leclerc separated by 8/10. So Vettel appears to be finding that grip. He looked to be struggling early on in the race, to be fair. So keep an eye on that one. Verstappen 5th, Gasly in 6th. It's all getting a little bit quiet, but in that midfield, look at that. Perez all the way back is quite congested. But there is DRS now, so this is where we're going to see how OP this is going to be. Here we go. Will Hülkenberg get past Perez? He needs to ready for his race because Daniel Ricciardo is pulling away. The Red Bulls are getting away as well. Vettel right on the back of Leclerc. I would expect some team orders in a moment. We've got Raikkonen here going for it. He is going for it with that DRS to get past Kevin Magnussen. And Magnussen stay on the inside. Nope. So Norris being told there's damage to the floor. I'm not surprised there's floor damage for Ferris. Hamilton sets a fast up the race. But yes, Kimi Raikkonen did get past Kevin Magnussen for P11. Hülkenberg still behind Sergio Perez. That Force India looking quite slippery in a straight line. Surprised Hülkenberg's not got past, but then against Renault power, isn't it, versus Mercedes? So it might be difficult. Vettel behind Leclerc, much closer. It seems to have settled down really early in this Grand Prix. Bit of a chaotic first lap, but it'll pick up, hopefully, in China. Just on board with the Ferrari, enjoying watching that. Quite nicely glued to the track. Gap between the top two. Hamilton is 1.4 clear of Bottas at the moment. What have we got? So Anthony Davison just on the old Sky pad, just saying that he's calling it a racing incident with Kvyat, saying he got sandwiched, is what I heard there. But I don't think he'd be sandwiched when on the outside. But unless he meant Sainz, could have meant him. So that would have made more sense. But we'll see. I'll keep an eye on it. I don't expect any further action. It's a first lap. Quite lenient in Bahrain, so I expect they'll be quite lenient here. Leclerc, Vettel gets really close in 14, and then Leclerc needs to have it covered for the rest of the lap at the moment. So look at the replay of the start. I was looking at the wrong Mercedes off the line. Hamilton got an absolute cracker to fly past Valtteri Bottas. The Williams boys side by side at the back of the grid there. Vettel has a look around the outside of the Mercedes, but then Leclerc just breezes up the inside of his teammate. So just looking further back at Perez's start. Perez with a really good start around the outside of the Haas, which was a really good move. I wanted to keep watching that really. And then we got Bottas on board. Little bit of wheel spin, which would have explained that. But Hamilton nailed it. When you consider what happened in Bahrain and you consider what happened in Australia off the line, spot on. Vettel's on board. Yeah, again, a fair bit of wheel spin, not massive, but has a little look, and that cost him. And then Leclerc just comes up the inside. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a Perez on board if they fancy that. And then a replay of the incident with Kvyat and Sainz and Norris. Yes, Kvyat just oversteers, hits Sainz. And then that sees him lose it into, What do you reckon, chat? First lap racing incident, or do you think Kvyat will take a penalty for that? I think... Oh, that car did look like it was going over. Yeah, I'm not... If that happens on lap 30, then that's probably a penalty. But I think... Yeah, I feel like I'd probably call that as a first lap racing incident. That's Lance Stroll having a look at Kevin Magnussen. Looks like he's had a good start again, up to 13th place, 3 places gained, and up the inside of Antonio Giovinazzi with that nice Alpha livery this weekend with the 1950 Alpha on there. Up the inside to Albon up to 15th. So on his way through, obviously helped a little bit with those 2 McLaren retirements, but Kvyat down in 14th. Grosjean did make it through okay, Davey, he did. Where is he at the moment? P11, so lost a couple of places. 1 place for him. Multiple places for Magnussen down in 12th, and he's starting to fend off Lance Stroll, and Lance Stroll is having to fend off Daniel Kvyat at the moment. Is Kvyat going to go for it into turn 6? He's going to have a look. Goes around the outside of turn 6. Is he going to make that stick? Lance Stroll's on his inside. Can Stroll hang on to it? And he does just... Oh, Kvyat's off track as well. Kvyat has to run wide there, or felt like he needed to run wide. But having to go down the outside of 6, that was a brave move. A very brave move. Trying to make it back for the foot again. Looks like Toro Rosso has some good race pace. And at the moment, long way to go, of course. Maybe Magnussen's concerns over Haas's race pace were correct. I mean, it's drive-through. Drive-through for Daniel Kvyat, so he has got a penalty for that one. Oh, people saying it's biased because I called Kvyat out because he hit Norris. Shut up. Don't be ridiculous. Oh, dear. I got told last week to stop fanboying over Norris because I gave him praise for 6th place in his second race. Get a life. Jesus. The guy deserves credit. See, I'm just looking at the race pace of Magnussen at the moment, actually. He's 1:41.6, so he's a little bit slower than his teammate. Yeah, Haas, not impressive at the moment. On the soft tyres, of course. Maybe just starting to... They're worn, obviously, but then they should be... Everybody else on worn tyres. I'm just looking at Haas's pace. It's sort of not really anywhere at the moment, so I'll keep an eye on that one. Who is where? Have we got any battles out there? Alex Albon, Daniel Kvyat and Lance Stroll is a scrap. And if you throw in there as well, Kevin Magnussen. So that's your little your little queue at the moment. Leclerc 8/10 clear of Vettel at the moment. Bottas 2.3 behind, 2.4 behind his teammate, 2.3 clear of Leclerc. Yeah, quite quiet at the front at the moment. I wonder if Ferrari might feel the need to make a change here. I don't think so. DRS for Vettel down this long back straight at the moment. See what he can do. He's not going to get in through turn 14. He's not going to throw out the inside of his teammate. But Vettel does seem a little bit quicker at the moment than Leclerc. Well, his lap times are slightly slower by a tenth, but obviously he's behind the car ahead, so he's going to struggle there a little bit. Yeah, that's not going to update, unfortunately. I can't, like I said at the start, and I've said since, and yeah, live timing down at the moment, so there's not a lot I can do, unfortunately. By the time I've typed it out, I'll be out of date as well, and I'll have to be quiet for 5 minutes while I do it. But yeah, no, still waiting for Planet F1 to get back to me on this one. But if it doesn't get going, then I'll either carry on with things as I am, or we'll end the stream. I'd prefer not to end the stream, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, you never know. YouTube might end it for me. That's the way it tends to go for me. Qbits the 16th. So Fiat is in the pits, I believe. Yes, he is. As is Antonio Giovinazzi. So he's going on to the mediums, is Gio. And Daniel Kvyat, I assume, is just serving his drive-through. Getting that one out of the way. Does a drive-through seem harsh to anybody else? I'd thought a 5-second time penalty might have been sufficient. Whether it's because he hit 2 cars, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems a little bit much, but there we go. Quite a few marbles on track, Martin Brunder pointing out in commentary there. So Leclerc still 8/10 clear of Vettel at the moment, 3rd and 4th for the Ferraris. So I think Leclerc's doing enough to stay ahead of Vettel. I think that's fair enough. But at the moment, I have to say, at the sharp end of the grid, it is very quiet. You've got Vettel in DRS zone of his teammate, just sort of following him, 6/10, 5/10 the gap as he gets in that DRS. But Leclerc holding his own. Hamilton 2.7 up the road from Bottas. And then you've got Verstappen and Gasly. Well, Verstappen, where is Gasly? What's that? 6.4 behind his teammate. Pit stop for Alpha. What we're looking at here on the replay. A little bit slow. Yeah, a little bit slow. Yeah, not going to down in 18th place and not destroy his race at the moment. So, Trix wants to know why there's no live stream. Copyright law. Imagine what it's going to be like with Article 13 as well. That's going to be fun, isn't it? But yeah, copyright law. Nothing I can do. Sky own the rights and F1 own the footage. So until I've got a couple of billion to buy it, there's not a lot I can do. There are plenty out there on YouTube that will take the risk and never get hit. So I'm sure you'll find one. But this is just a commentary and chat, a watch along. I watch, you watch, we watch along together. Vettel on Team Radio. Being told to push now. Yeah, Vettel being told to push now. So I wonder if we're set for a pit stop. Lap 9 of 56. Maybe, yeah. I think the graphic said about 17, didn't it, to get rid of the mediums? Or is that new mediums, probably? So you probably knock at least 2, maybe 3 laps off that. So around 14, I would have thought. But we'll see. But Hülkenberg has dropped back off Perez quite a bit looking at this. And he's got Kimi Räikkönen to think about. So Kimi from 13th is looking now at 9th place Nico Hülkenberg. Now, Hülkenberg was right on the back of Perez for quite a while, early on in this, or very early on in this Grand Prix, for the first few laps, after that cracking start from Checo. So Grosjean's been in to pull the undercut on a few ahead of him, so that could make things interesting, see if he can make up some places. But like I say, a bit interesting to see the Haas pace isn't brilliant. Magnussen is in the pits. So Grosjean's last lap of 45.8. Magnussen 14th. At the moment, he's in the pits now. But at the moment, we've got Stroll up in 11th place, yet to stop, of course. So Leclerc's been told, but sorry, I was very quiet there, listed team radio, but Leclerc has been told either go faster or let Sebastian past. That makes sense. That'll make me a fanboy of Vettel now, but that makes sense. For that as a team, not great for Leclerc, obviously. Magnussen's gone to the hard tyres, by the way, as did Grosjean when he pitted. So I did miss Leclerc's response, by the way. They're now telling him to let... Wow. He's just let him go on the pit straight. Ferrari said, let him go, let Sebastian by, and Leclerc said, I'm faster than I'm pulling away. So there you go. Team orders down at Ferrari, letting Vettel through. Leclerc felt he was pulling away. So I'll let you guys make your mind up from that perspective. What Vettel now needs to do is pull away and show that he has got the pace to do so. I'm not... in the nicest possible way, I'm not going to keep repeating that the Planet F1 timing's down. So if something like a mod in chat can keep reminding people that are asking about it, as Kimi Räikkönen going to get past Kimi Hülkenberg into turn 14. He does up the inside with DRS. He's going to make that one stick nicely. So Kimi Räikkönen has made his way up nicely into P9. From 13th, of course, few pit stops, but I'll just try to look for this undercut now. Magnussen and Grosjean, they are quick. Grosjean 39.2. Those who was racing a 40.6 for Albon, a 40.9 for Stroll, and a 41.2 for Hülkenberg. So at the moment, Grosjean certainly. Magnussen looks like he's going quicker than his teammate. Have pulled the undercut quite nicely in the midfield as Vettel locks up and is only 7/10 ahead of Charles Leclerc. Max Verstappen. Keep an eye on Verstappen. He's only 2.3 behind Leclerc, and the Ferraris look like they've pulled rank and they're going to formation fly. Maybe a bit of tyre saving going on or something early race. Let's not forget that as the camera goes crazy there and tries to pick up Ricciardo and Perez, we've got somebody in the pit lane as well, just flying in, which is Nico Hülkenberg. He needs to, because I think the Haas boys are about to jump him. It's going to be close for him. Stroll, personal best on that lap, 40.7 pit stop. There's Hülkenberg putting on the hard tyres. So I'm really hoping this isn't a one-stop race because there's not a lot going on at the moment. So the last thing we then need is no pit stops to spice it up. We could do with a few to spice it up or a safety car. But don't forget, I will say, last year's Chinese Grand Prix gets remembered as... So Grosjean did get past Hülkenberg. So I just missed... Yeah, he did. That was very close. I did say it was going to be close. But Hülkenberg with tyres maybe a lap or two fresher than Grosjean. Will he be able to do it? Very close. Can he get him? I don't think he'll have him in turn 6 at the moment, but he's very, very close to him. And Grosjean is right on the back as well of Daniel Kvyat. I was going to say, China last year, people talk about it being a really, really good race. Not a lot happened until the Toro Rossos crashed. It wasn't particularly an exciting Grand Prix. The biggest talking point, I think, was probably Bottas passing Vettel in the pit stops. So, yes. Hülkenberg a bit twitchy there. Is he going to lock up into turn 6 on board with him now? No. Leclerc still behind Sebastian Vettel, a second back at the moment. Vettel 5.3 behind Bottas, and Bottas 4 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So Mercedes look in control at the moment, look absolutely in control. Still, like I keep saying, a long old way to go yet. So you just never know. I'll have another double check at Planet F1, see if they've got it working. It doesn't look like it. No, still not loading the page. So unfortunately, the live timing is down at the moment. So apologies for that. So what I'll do very quickly is run through The order for now, Lewis Hamilton leads 4 seconds up the road from teammate Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel is third, 5.5 back on Bottas, and his teammate Leclerc just 1.3 behind him. Max Verstappen fifth, 2.3 behind the Ferraris, with Pierre Gasly 8.1 behind his teammate and 21 seconds off the lead already. Not great at the moment. Daniel Ricciardo in seventh, 28 seconds off the lead, 7.5 behind Pierre Gasly. Sergio Perez 1.8 behind Ricciardo. Really good race so far from Checo. Kimi Raikkonen as well up to 9th place, 2.8 behind Perez. Stroll 10.9 behind Raikkonen in 10th place. They haven't pitted either. I'll do pit stops in a moment. Albon in P11 just behind Stroll. Russell up in 12th place, yet to stop, of course. Vettel very wide through 14. Bit scruffy there. Big lock up. Where do you go to? Russell, yes, in 12th place. Kvyat in 13th, 6.6. Grosjean a second back on Kvyat, and he's got Hülkenberg right behind him, who's got Kubica right behind him. Kevin Magnussen is just behind Kubica as well, 9/10 of a second now, 7/10. Giovinazzi is in 18th. Sainz and Norris, 19th and 20th, 12 seconds off those. Ahead, Carlos Sainz is, and Norris is 12 seconds off his teammate. Pit stops wise, nobody currently running inside the top 12, so Hamilton down to Russell have pitted. Kvyat, Grosjean, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Sainz and Norris have pitted. Robert Kubica is also yet to. That is on lap 14 of 56. So yeah, Vettel locking up on that previous lap. I love the way Martin Brundle's worded that. He says Vettel's been given the clear air and he's been a bit clumsy with it. So if it's a fair point, it's a fair point. Big lock up into the hairpin, which put him wide, and that cost him time. The gap is still a second, so he's not exactly got ahead of Leclerc and then absolutely disappeared. Thank you very much for subscribing there. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, do hit that subscribe button. Usually, if you're new, by the way, we do have live timing provided by Planet F1, but unfortunately their site is down at the moment. So I'm just waiting for that to go back up, and then we'll head off to the watch along screen. Hopefully, it'll be up very, very soon. But yeah, thank you for coming on. So don't forget to subscribe. And also, if you are watching, please do hit that like button as well. It really does help the channel out. I think people, as I say every week, underestimate just how much a like does help the channel. So please do drop one. It only takes a second and is massively appreciated. Hamilton currently has the fastest lap, by the way. So at the moment on for 26 points. We shall see. Where was Leclerc 1.2 behind his teammates? So that's really what we're watching at the moment, is the Ferraris. They seem to be the focus of the director at the moment, as those two stay fairly close. But really, all the scrapping, I don't know why they don't pick up on this on the world feed more. Because you've got the Leclerc team radio. Leclerc saying over team radio now is behind his teammate. I'm losing quite a lot of time, just to let you know. Cheeky. But yeah, the director needs to be picking up, because we've got Albon 6/10 behind Stroll. So that's a squabble going on, and that's what we want to be seeing, is some on-track action. Then you've got Grosjean 7/10 behind Kvyat, Hülkenberg 5/10 behind Grosjean, and then you've got Magnussen closing them down as well. So really should be watching that. I understand why the director's keeping an eye on the sharp end of the grid, but especially given that Max Verstappen seems to be cruising in 1.9 the gap now, getting closer to Leclerc. Leclerc being told we are discussing that. Ferrari have put themselves in a really... Crofty's just saying it. I'm just listening to him. He's making a good point for a change. They've put themselves in a really tricky position, Ferrari, because if Leclerc is quicker, are they going to swap them back again? And then if they do, all it takes is for Max Verstappen to pit now, for example, put on the hard tyres and pull the undercut, and he's jumping them both. Google R ratings says boring race. Boring is, I never say boring race because there's so much focus on. What I will say is it's a boring world feed because they're just watching the Ferraris. I'd much rather see what's going on further down the field because there's plenty of action in that midfield again, and that's where we need to be looking. But it's not been the best so far, but I will cling on desperately, probably hoping against hope that we'll get something like China last year, where it was a bit boring for the first half or a bit dull for the first half, and then it just exploded into life when the Toro Rossos came together. And just to let you know, Albon 11th and Kvyat 13th, so it's not impossible that could happen again. Just to help out Red Bull a little bit more there. A few people last year talking about conspiracy theories. Just team ready for Vettel quickly. Vettel being told to push more. He needs to, because Leclerc is there. Definitely losing time. But yeah, people talking last year about conspiracy theories and how Toro Rosso deliberately hit each other to get the safety car out for Red Bull. People make me giggle. They do make me laugh. I love stuff like that, but it is quite funny. But yeah, Vettel needs to be cracking on here, because Verstappen is still sort of 2 seconds behind Leclerc and is easily inside that undercut window. What is going on at Ferrari? Vettel saying yesterday post-qualifying that they are struggling to replicate their pre-season form, and that's about as obvious as it gets, really. They've not been able to do that. So all this talk this weekend as well about the straight line speed that Ferrari have got it. Yeah. I suppose you're losing it all in the corners, aren't you? That's the problem. But yeah. Lap 17 of 56. Uh, 4,000 laps apparently led in his career now, Lewis Hamilton. Forza Ferrari says, I woke up for nothing. Don't. It's lap 17. It might come good. It might come good. This was always the problem for China. It's got the 1,000th race branding, so all the hype around it has been huge. There was an incredible race in Bahrain, so we're all wanting a bit more of that. And so China was always going to struggle to match that. But at the same time, does seem really quite Mercedes comfortable out front. We're just watching a replay here of Vettel and Leclerc. Leclerc with a lock up into 6. So that's not helping the Ferraris on their tyre wear at all. Hulkenberg's out. He's just pulled into the pits and he's been wheeled into the garage. All it was on team radio was confirming Nico we're retiring the car. Hulkenberg out. So more mechanical problems for Renault. Obviously Bahrain, right at the end, they both retired basically at the same time, didn't they? Verstappen's pitted. Ferrari have got, sparks on the front wing of that McLaren. Is that Norris or Sainz? It was Norris, I think. But yeah, into the pits comes Verstappen. Ferrari will need to react immediately. The problem Ferrari have got now is you can't double stack them. I mean, you can, but hang on, he's going to have traffic. Can he get out ahead of Raikkonen? Yes, he can, just as Max Verstappen. And Raikkonen might have a go. But yes, Max Verstappen is out. He has gone for the undercut, so I will watch his lap times. This is where it's going to get... I think Max Verstappen here, he's going to get one of the Ferraris, because unless they decide to... They can't double stack with a gap of 1.5 seconds. There's no way. So Charles Leclerc is probably going to get... Because I'd assume Vettel will get priority on the strategy. So Charles Leclerc is probably going to get jumped here. Unless they're going for the one-stop. Is this pace... Sparks flying off that McLaren front wing there, just clipping the ground. Some damage from earlier on. Crofty saying now, I'm just... Bear with me. Are we a little bit quiet at the moment because Ferrari and Mercedes, or particularly Ferrari, are trying to take this to a one-stopper and Red Bull are going for 2? We're going to find out in a moment. I think Ferrari are coming out into pit lane. Who's going to pit? Yes, they are, so they aren't going to... I just wonder if they might try and stretch it to one stop, and that's why they weren't... Because they didn't look like they were coming out, but it is Vettel in first. Leclerc will go on. So Leclerc, I would imagine, is going to get jumped by Max Verstappen. 29.1 in the middle sector compared to a 29.9 for Leclerc. And that's on his outlap, so yes. What did Vettel do? 29.8, so there's 7 tenths there. So I think Vettel might... It's all on this final sector. Vettel's final sector obviously will be slow. Verstappen of 42.6, 157.0 on his outlap. Is he going to get him? He is not. So Sebastian Vettel is safe, but I think Charles Leclerc is going to get jumped here by Max Verstappen. Pierre Gasly up to 4th place while these guys are pitting. So I think what... What do Ferrari do now? Do they use Vettel? Verstappen 25.5. Purple in the first sector, right on the back of Vettel. This could be interesting. His tyre's nicely up to temperature, of course. Only a lap older, so it's not going to make a huge difference in that respect. What can Verstappen do whilst Vettel's just getting himself up to speed and up to temperature again? That's the blue flags there for Lando Norris. Miserable day for McLaren after that first lap incident. But I think Max Verstappen, 7 tenths behind Vettel. He should be about to get some DRS, so this could be interesting. Deep breath, everybody. Vettel purple in the middle, 28.9. He was quicker than Verstappen. Verstappen should just get DRS as well, but I think I might be wrong. Verstappen, 87% apparently. Chance he's going to jump Leclerc in a pit stop, and that's growing to 92. So Leclerc's race is about to be compromised quite a bit, but as I kind of expected that, even with DRS, I don't think Verstappen has a cheeky look. He does throw it up the inside. Lock up from Max Verstappen, threw it up the inside of Vettel, who comes back at him. He's going to try. Oh, Vettel squeezing him onto the grass. And Verstappen's going to have a look in the final corner, but Vettel just holds on. That was a real squeeze from Vettel onto the grass. But Verstappen with a right proper dive bomb. Fastest lap as well. Verstappen is on it here on these hard tyres. Fastest lap as well. I want to see that again. Vettel wide on the second apex there. Let's have a look here. So Verstappen just throws it up the inside. Then locks up and obviously can't get it slowed down. That allows Vettel to chop back and then... Yeah, that's tight, but I think there's just enough. But I think that's good driving from both drivers, by the way. Very good stuff. Vettel keeps him behind. What can Verstappen do? He was fastest on 9 tenths at the moment, the gap. Can Verstappen get DRS again down that straight? He's a little bit further back than he was a lap ago. And Leclerc's staying out, by the way, just to let you know. We are on lap 20 of 56, so I just wonder they might stretch him to 1. Leclerc team radio just... We go as long as possible, thinking about the end of the race, but we keep pushing is what Leclerc has just been told. So I wonder if they are... Vettel should be able to get those hards to the end of the race if he looks after them a bit. So it might not matter about whether it's 1 stop or 2 stop, but that could be what's critical. But maybe... He'll have to go to the hards, but they'll be fresher than everybody else's because he's already, 3 or 4 laps now. Quicker as Vettel does the fastest lap of the race now. 7 tenths clear of Verstappen, so it's still close between those two. 36.9 for Vettel and then a 37.5 for Verstappen, but there is 9 tenths between us, so Verstappen's still just in that DRS. $36.9 for Vettel, 39.2 for Hamilton, 39.2 for Bottas. I've not even been watching Mercedes. They've just gone at the moment, but they might have to think. Comfortable gap at the moment, 33.6, but that's going to keep tumbling. But Mercedes are coming out in the pit lane, so I'm just going to try and just make sure they've kept the gap. Verstappen quicker on the foot. I think it's just going nice and quiet. I think Mercedes is still okay. 18 seconds clear of Leclerc. 32 clear of Vettel, 34 of Verstappen. They're pulling... of course, yeah, sorry, yeah, I'm being stupid. Bottas, yeah. He's in a Mercedes as well. So that's the one they're reacting with. So Bottas is in first to cover Vettel and Verstappen. Should be okay. Just going to watch this one. So Leclerc goes through. And he's comfortably ahead of them, but they're closer than they were, I think. See if we've got some Planet F1 timings yet. See if they're working. At the moment, it is a big, fat, stinking no, unfortunately. So apologies once again for that. And if you are new, as I've said a couple of times now, we do tend to have the live timing from Planet F1. So unfortunately, we don't have that at the moment. So apologies for that one. I will keep trying. Keep trying to make sure they're working. Just watching you guys in chat a moment there, just having a little look. What can Ferrari do here with Leclerc on Bottas? Are they willing to compromise this race and back Bottas up a little bit? Seems a bit odd. I mean, it's team play. I suppose it could happen, but speculating, obviously, as Lewis Hamilton comes into the pit lane. So will Leclerc go into the lead? Is that what they're thinking here, Ferrari? Run him long, like they did with Raikkonen last year a few times. Run him long. Use him a little bit. Did they do that in China last year, actually, with Raikkonen? I seem to remember in China last year they ran Raikkonen quite long, because I remember there being some side-by-sides with Bottas as he held up a little bit. So maybe, and I'll shut up now because Leclerc's in the pits. I just wondered if they might be trying the same thing, Leclerc in. But Hamilton will keep the lead then. Bottas, has he kept the lead? I think Bottas is close. I don't understand Ferrari's strategy. Sorry, I'm a little bit thrown off by this one. I'll go through the order in a minute. Don't worry. I'm just trying to work out Ferrari's strategy because they pitted Leclerc. That's odd. That's odd. But anyway, yeah, I'll go through the order. Hamilton will probably not be happy. There's only 1.8 seconds to clear of his teammate. Gasly has pitted, now trying to get past Kimi Raikkonen. But your order at the moment, Lewis Hamilton does still lead on lap 23 now of 56. 1.8 seconds behind is his teammate Valtteri Bottas as Pierre Gasly has a look at Kimi Raikkonen. Is he going to get through around the outside of 5 and he might try in 6? I don't think he's going to get it done. He's going to keep going now. Gasly just staying in there. Will he switch back on the better tyres and then we'll breeze past Kimi Raikkonen? So Gasly up into 6th place. Good move. Good move. But yeah, Hamilton leads from Bottas. 1.9 seconds is the gap. Sebastian Vettel in 3rd, 5 seconds behind Bottas. And 2.8 seconds behind him now is Max Verstappen. Charles Leclerc 11.1 further back. That's how much it's cost him in 5th place. What's that? That's a swing of about 13 seconds on Verstappen. So that did not work for Ferrari at all. Pierre Gasly 6.4 seconds further back in 6th place. Kimi Raikkonen is still running in 7th, 1.5 seconds. Ricciardo 8th, Perez 9th, and Grosjean rounds out the top 10. He's got Kvyat just behind him, 1.6 seconds. Magnussen right in the back of Kvyat. That's where we need to be, Mr. Director. If we could, that'd be great. In 12th place. Antonio Giovinazzi 13th, Albon in 14th, Stroll in 15th, Carlos Sainz 16th, Robert Kubica 17th, George Russell 18th, Lando Norris 19th, and Nico Hülkenberg retiring mechanical issues. Not heard what they are yet. Pit stops. Robert Kubica is yet to stop down in 17th place. He's still on the mediums. And Kimi Raikkonen, sorry to Lewis Hamilton's team right there. Kimi Raikkonen also yet to stop as well. So that's your running order on lap 24 of 56. If you are just tuning in, it's not been a classic. I'm not going to lie. It's not been a classic. But we had a good scrap between Vettel and Verstappen briefly, which was a good move. Nice wheel-to-wheel stuff. But Lewis Hamilton was just asking on team radio why they pitted Valtteri first, and then they just reminded him that tyre life to the end of the race, they should be okay. But obviously, I think Mercedes had to. I think Mercedes needed to because of the pace that Vettel had. A couple more laps at that, and all of a sudden, Vettel's a threat. Whether he'd be able to keep the position, because Mercedes appear to have, as I said yesterday in the qualifying report, much better race pace. So Ricciardo is down in 8th place, or in 8th place, for those asking. How exciting is the race out of 10? That's a good question. I'll put that to the chat as well. I mean, Bahrain was about a 9 or 10, wasn't it? It was ridiculous, but I'd say middle of the road, maybe 4, 5. 6 of them being really generous. But yeah, Bottas fastest lap of the race, by the way, 1.4 behind Hamilton. So this could get interesting. But yeah, middle of the road. It's not been awful. It's just not been thrilling and exciting. It's intriguing. I still can't work out what Ferrari are doing. Baffling. Laugh Ferrari's a 7 out of 10. Okay. Aiden's going to bed. I'm not. I'm going to say. If you hear me snoring, by the way, I didn't get much sleep last night. To be fair, that'll be why more than anything. But Valtteri might make this interesting just yet, as somebody's just said there in the chat. I keep refreshing the Planet F1 live timings, hoping against hope. I think they're going to get going. It's not looking good at the moment, so I will. Well, hopefully they'll be sorted for next week or next week. Baku, we'll need them for Baku. But I'm going to reiterate what I said a couple of times now. What was it, lap 34, 5, 6, somewhere around there last year before this race came to life. So obviously needed a safety car to do it, but you never know. You never know. I'll do a rundown in a couple of laps. A couple of people asking there. I will keep an eye out. I'll try and do one in the next few laps. But it is your top 5 is still Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Verstappen, Leclerc. The battle's on track though. Magnussen's still right on the back of Kvyat. Kvyat must be defending proper hard down there. 3/10 is the gap at the moment. I think Magnussen might have some DRS. Might be why that's closing down quite a bit. Behind that, Albon on Giovinazzi. 4th, 13th and 14th is a squabble Albon. 9/10 to a second behind, sort of ebbing and flowing between that. Stroll 1.7 further back. It's not as close in that midfield as it has been in recent races, or the last 2 races at least. So... and yes, Max is 3.5 in 4th place behind Sebastian Vettel. Robert Kubica, has Robert Kubica pitted yet? He seems to be on those sides. No, we're still waiting for Kubica and Raikkonen to pit. So Raikkonen's lap times are not great. 41.4. Slower than Ricciardo by a second. Basically the same for Perez. Grosjean 39.8. As I say that, Raikkonen comes into the pits. Max been told the wind has calmed down. I assume that's a weather report and not a personal issue. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So British at times. It's ridiculous. So Kimi's in. Onto the hard tyres. He'll definitely go to the end on those, no doubt. I think everybody will. Ooh, a bit late getting Jack out of the way. And we've also got Toro Rosso ready as well. So that's going to be a... Oh, of course, Kvyat. No. Ooh, Raikkonen just out. And he's just been pitted by Kevin Magnussen. That was very close. But of course, Kvyat hasn't pitted for tyres. He hasn't pitted for tyres. He pitted for a drive-through penalty, didn't he? That'll be right. Yeah, so there we go. Yeah, I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. But Kimi Raikkonen's going to have a go here at Kevin Magnussen down the outside around turn 5 to have a look in turn 6. Is he going to keep his foot in? Will he switch back? Kevin Magnussen plays nice and defensive. Kimi Raikkonen on the fresher tyres. Nice traction as well. As we run to turn 7, he is passed and back up into P10. Good move from Kimi on those fresh tyres. Kevin Magnussen back down to 11th. So yeah, the race pace again, as I said earlier, not great. Down at Haas at the moment. So the pit window is open for a 2-stop strategy. I'm not convinced any of the front runners are going to 2-stop. I think lap 17 was what Pirelli said at the start of the race to get those Haas to the end if they pitted, and quite a few came in around that time. So I don't think there's any concern of anybody doing it. And this is Alexander Albon having a go at Antonio Giovinazzi for P12. That's done and dusted with the DRS. Giovinazzi, little look back on the inside, but that's not going to happen. Carlos Sainz, by the way, the McLarens, why not? Carlos Sainz has made his way up to 15th after that first lap incident. Norris still down in 19th with floor damage, 25.1 seconds, I believe. Just double check. 24.9, sorry, behind George Russell just ahead. So not working for Norris at the moment. That damage probably a little bit more. I'm surprised that you never know. You never know. They might be waiting for a safety car. We've seen that a few times this season, or at least once this season. I think it was Australia with Ricciardo and his front wing hanging around and just waiting for a safety car. But they might retire. They might retire Norris soon. We'll see. Lance Stroll having a go here at Giovinazzi. Again, struggling on his tyres. We saw in Australia, causing a bit of a roadblock. Lance Stroll will tuck it back up the inside. Surely, no, he doesn't get that done. He has got better traction. Yeah, 21 laps on those tyres at the moment. I think Stroll's going to be past Gio down this straight at the moment. He's going to get DRS as well. 4/10 behind him. Nice on the apex there through 15. He might even get him before the DRS at this rate because he really looks to be struggling, Giovinazzi, on those tyres. He's nice and wide out that corner, though, for a good run. But I would imagine Lance Stroll's about to absolutely breeze past him. He's catching. Open the DRS and breezes past Giovinazzi. Stroll up into 13th place. His teammate, by the way, if you're just tuning in, Sergio Perez, up in 8th after a brilliant start. Absolutely brilliant. I'll do a rundown in about a lap's time. Currently on 28 of 56. But yes, very good stuff there from Lance Stroll to get the move done. Leclerc catching Verstappen at the moment, 8.3. Martin Brundle just pointing that out in the Sky commentary. But Verstappen falling back on Vettel, 4.2. Vettel 8 seconds off Bottas, 11 off the lead, and Bottas seems to have fallen back on his teammate as well. 3 seconds of gap. So Lewis Hamilton looking at the moment, long old way to go in this race. Still, we're only at half distance. Looking as though he's on for a second consecutive win, but that could be commentator's curse, as Crofty did to poor Charles Leclerc in Bahrain, of course. So yes, I'll keep my gob shut for Hamilton fans because they'll slate me if he ends up retiring now. Bottas was getting close, but he seems to have settled down a little bit now. Still no live timing for Planet F1 by the look of it. Still not working. So once again, I can only apologise for that one, unfortunately. We've had a couple of issues so far this season, but hopefully it'll get sorted. That's still, to be fair to them, it's still a very... They've only been doing it a few months. It's a very new thing that they're doing, so there's going to be teething problems. Is that Kimi having a go at Grosjean? It is indeed. 7 versus 8 up the inside of 14. Grosjean nice and wide, but Kimi will make that stick. Grosjean's going to keep his foot in, though, on the run to 16. Will he go for it? No, he won't. Even Grosjean's not that daft. Kimi Räikkönen is through and up into 9th place. He's having a really good race, is Kimi. Seems to be doing a lot of the fighting, but Grosjean's going to come back at him through turn 1 with the DRS. Does he fancy it? Maybe not. Might tuck back in for the second part of the corner. I do love the turn 1 in China. I have to say, he might get a run down into turn 6 if he gets this exit right. This could be an interesting squabble. Grosjean runs that wide. Kimi really wide through there, but it's giving him a really good run, to be fair. And I think he's okay. Right then. Through the running order, once again, just look at Kimi Räikkönen's move on Romain Grosjean. That was for P9. So Kimi's next target ahead is Sergio Perez, but Lewis Hamilton does lead on lap 29 of 56, I think. I'm sure it's 56. Do you know how many times I said that in the preview when trying to record it? You think I'd know. It is 56. From Valtteri Bottas in second place, 3 seconds of gap. Sebastian Vettel is third, 8.9 seconds. 8.7 now behind Valtteri Bottas, 11 seconds off the lead. Leclerc not happy with tyres by the sounds of it. Max Verstappen in 4th place, 6.4 seconds is the gap. He is... 4.4 seconds is the gap to Vettel. Charles Leclerc 6.7 behind Verstappen, and Verstappen is going to be joined by the Ferrari very, very shortly. Pierre Gasly 14 seconds behind Leclerc in 6th place, so quite a way. That's 18 seconds off his teammate at least. Not great. 7th place for Daniel Ricciardo, 26 seconds behind Gasly. Perez in 8th place, just a second behind Ricciardo. Less than a second now, so that could get interesting on that start-finish straight is where they are at the moment, I believe. Possibly not. Probably making that up. Kimi Räikkönen 3.6 behind Sergio Perez and closing in very slightly at the moment. That could get tasty there between those three, Ricciardo, Perez and Räikkönen. Grosjean in 10th place. Magnussen is 11th. He's got Alexander Albon right behind him in 12th. 4/10 the gap. Lance Stroll up to 13th. And Leclerc being told plan B. I would assume that's a 2-stop then. Giovinazzi 14th. Carlos Sainz up to 15th after the incident on the first lap. Kvyat is 16th. 17th Russell, 18th is Lando Norris, and 19th is Robert Kubica, who has finally pitted for some fresh tyres. So everyone stopped. Every driver down to 13th. So Hamilton down to Stroll are on the hards. Antonio Giovinazzi is on the mediums. Then you've got Sainz, Kvyat and Russell on hards. Kubica on hards and Norris on the mediums. So one retirement, by the way, I did miss that off the list, is Nico Hülkenberg. Mechanical problems. Not heard what they are just yet. But Charles Leclerc being told plan B. Do we think that's a 2-stop, chat? Do we think that's a 2-stop? Watching Alex Albon here. 147 likes on the video, 1,500 watching. Let's drop some likes, peeps. I can't believe I keep saying peeps. You can tell I'm an old man, really, can't you? So yeah, drop a like on the video. It's massively appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Massively appreciated, like I say. Helps the channel out quite a bit as well. Reading a couple of your comments then on Plan B. Here's Lance Stroll now on Kevin Magnussen. Finally picked this one up. So yeah, Leclerc catching quite comfortably. Gio in again. For a second stop, he's putting the mediums on. Lance Stroll. Yeah, he's... Oh, a bit of a lock up there into turn 6. That's the squad I'm watching at the moment. As Kvyat pits again, it's getting a new front wing. A new nose and front wing for Daniel Kvyat. So obviously a little bit of damage possibly from that first lap. That's his third stop, obviously, with his drive-through penalty. They've put the softs on, interestingly enough. So he's going to go racy, but this is costing him a lot of time. That is a very long stop, even for a nose change. That was a bit long. So just going to show a replay of the race start now, which I think, given that we're just over halfway, I think anybody just tuning in will know that if they're showing replays of the race start, not a lot has happened since. But if you are just tuning in, there was an incident on the first lap between Daniel Kvyat, Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris, which left Norris a little bit airborne. And Carlos Sainz with damage as well. That's compromised both the McLaren's races, and Kvyat did get a drive-through penalty. Leclerc jumped Vettel off the line, and eventually team orders came in, and he was told to let him go. That didn't go down too well with Leclerc, who felt like he was quicker and then was held up by Vettel. Verstappen pulled the undercut to get ahead of Leclerc as well. Just watching a replay again off the start of what happened. Some good squabbling in the midfield. Nothing really... nothing like we saw in Bahrain or in Australia, to be fair. And then Verstappen and Vettel got a little bit racy. Verstappen went for up the other side really late into the hairpin, ran wide because he couldn't get the car slowed down, which is understandable. It was a proper dive bomb move, really heart in mouth moment. And then Vettel managed to come back and defend and keep his position. Other than that, yeah, one of those. I reckon Bottas might win a championship this year, is a comment we got in chat. He's had a very good start to the season, hasn't he? Good in Australia, a little bit off it in Bahrain. Apparently a carrier bag or a plastic bag was part of the reason for that early in the race. Compromises, it was wedged? I'll say lodged in his front wing, but yeah. He's had a very good start. Pole position yesterday. It was a good lap. I watched the comparison with Lewis Hamilton. Nothing between them. And I think Anthony Davis is saying that he managed to make the difference in the final two corners. So, yes. Maybe. It's soft song for Kvyat. We're going to keep an eye on his lap times. Williams have screen time, says Nick. Are you excited for that, mate? we don't see a lot of them, do we? Still no live timing at the moment over on Planet F1. The site is still down, so apologies once again. I'll keep apologising. It's obviously not my fault, but I still feel like I need to apologise. So hopefully that will get sorted in time for Baku. Don't forget, we'll be live. We'll be live again shortly after the Grand Prix. About an hour. I'll be live with Stuart for the AK Chamber. Just Hamilton asking about fast time. Apologies, for some reason, the F1 website decided to log me out, even though I was using the site, which is unusual. But anyway, there we go. That's sorted. But yes, we'll be live about an hour after the race for a bit of race reaction, not review. Just a bit of a chat about the Grand Prix. There doesn't look like to be too much to talk about at this point, but lap 34, it was around here where it all started to kick off last year, so we'll see. But Hamilton might go for fastest lap now. I'll go through the order again in another lap's time. Try and do them at 5 to 10 lap intervals. Still talking about wind down at Red Bull. I won't say it again. So yeah, Verstappen been told it's a bit more variable, a bit more gusty. So Kubica 19th, Russell in 16th for Williams, for those that are chatting about them in the chat. Obviously, I know where else you chat about them. But Leclerc is catching Verstappen now. The gap 2.9, so that's where the squabble's going to be. So I'll tell you what, we've got a few two-stopping. Because in the pits... I misheard that from Martin Brundle. Anyway... Deep breath, 33, and I find that hilarious. That is really pathetic. But yeah, anyway, so Magnussen in the pits making a second stop, so we might get some two-stoppers here. He's gone to the mediums. That'll see him comfortably to the end. Might be a bit racy now, but let's have a look at this order then. As we come towards, and we are on lap 35 now. Lewis Hamilton still leading from Valtteri Bottas. There is 5.9 between them. Red Bull are ready for a pit stop. In comes Verstappen. So it is two stops. It is two stops for Red Bull. I wonder if that's why Leclerc was left out. Maybe it is going to be one stop for him. So he's going to drop now. Will he fall behind Gasly? He shouldn't do. He should be out in clear air. So they've gone... What tyres have they put on? I can't quite see... Is it the softs or is it the mediums? It's the mediums on that Red Bull, so he's going to be very racy here. I wonder if Ferrari might want to pull Leclerc in for two stops just ahead of Pierre Gasly as well. Very well done from Red Bull. But anyway, Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Leclerc is your top four. 6 seconds back on Bottas is Vettel. Leclerc is 12 back on his teammate and a little bit slower than him at the moment as Magnussen sets the fastest first sector of the race. Max Verstappen in 5th place after that second pit stop. Vettel being told to push. I think we're two stopping here, so I'll fly through this as quickly as I can. Gasly in 6th, Daniel Ricciardo in 7th, Sergio Perez 8th, 1.4 seconds behind Ricciardo. He's got Raikkonen behind him, 1.9 seconds is the gap there. Grosjean in 10th place, 9.3 behind, falling away a little bit. Alex Albon in 11th with Lance Stroll 12th. Carlos Sainz is 13th, Magnussen 14th. Antonio Giovinazzi in 15th place, 16th is Russell, Kvyat is 17th, Norris is 18th, and Kubica 19th. The only retirement with mechanical issues was Nico Hülkenberg. Is Vettel straight in the pits? Vettel is in the pits. The Ferrari are covering Verstappen straight away. That is a smart move from Ferrari. They need to really, because Verstappen is going to be super racy. I'll keep an eye on his sector times. I'll say that 28.6 in the middle was only 0.2 quicker than Vettel, so Vettel should, knock on wood for him, should be okay. .2 seconds for Vettel in that pit stop. He's gone to the mediums as well, so will Mercedes feel the need to react? And Vettel comfortably out ahead of Verstappen at the moment, but I think Leclerc here, is he going to keep running to the end, do we think? Not sure. Hamilton hards, by the way, as is Bottas and Leclerc. They've all one stopped. Vettel and Verstappen now on the mediums. They've both two stopped as Vettel kicks up some dust on the exit of turn 3. Hards all the way down then to Carlos Sainz in 13th. Then it's mediums for Magnussen, who's on the move at the moment. And Giovinazzi. Soft for Kvyat in 17th. And mediums for Norris at the back of the field. They are pulling Hamilton in. To cover. Oh, they're double stacking Mercedes. They are double stacking Mercedes, so they feel the need to do that. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they're doing that. I suppose they've got the gap, but it's not needed because the gap... Oh, Bottas would have been slightly held there, but should be okay. Disagree, Crofty. Did a little bit, but there we go. But yeah, maybe. Yes, I think they did. They did. Because that's Leclerc ahead of Bottas, so they felt... And Vettel is coming on the straight now, so maybe, yeah. Maybe another lap for Bottas might have meant that Vettel was going to nab it. I don't know. Maybe. Not sure. So Leclerc is second at the moment on the hard tyres. I've got... I wonder if he's going to one-stop Leclerc. He pitted 3 or 4 laps later than Vettel and Verstappen. So he should, in theory, get those tyres to the end. But surely he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck. He's only 4.1 clear of Vettel, and then Verstappen is 13 seconds behind. And we've got about 20 laps to go, so I can't see how that's going to work. It's intriguing. The strategy's really intriguing me. Really intriguing me. It doesn't. No, it doesn't look as though we're going to get the live timing working. We've got, what, 19 laps to go. It's still not working, so I think we're going to be stuck on this screen for the rest of the race. What I think I'll do for Baku is come up with a contingency plan. So if the timing doesn't work, I'll do something on this screen that keeps everyone updated a little bit better on the race. So I'll try and come up with something. But apologies for that once again. If you are new, we do usually have the live timing. Also, if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. And please, if you're watching, do drop a like on the video. It's massively appreciated. It helps the channel out, and it only takes a second. So, yes, that would be awesome. What do we got then in the field? Anything interesting? Really? Oh, shut up with your plugging of the Masters. Sky love to plug their other shows, don't they, during races. It's annoying. Anyway, Bottas only 6/10 behind Leclerc now, so that's going to be the move, but Bottas should breeze past him on those fresher tyres. I'll keep an eye on it while watching it on TV, but great traction out of that. Turn 13, he's got the DRS and he's just going to fly past Leclerc, I'd imagine, without too much difficulty. Leclerc goes defensive. I wonder if Ferrari might just use him to hold Bottas up. He's just going to run Bottas out of room there. So yes, Leclerc defending well against Bottas to hold on to second place. So this is maybe what Ferrari were thinking. So is plan B one stop then? If Vettel's 2 stops, is plan B 1 stop? So at the moment, Leclerc is sort of... I think Leclerc will need to pit. Martin Brundle kind of saying the same there, and that he feels that they'll need to, because he's so slow compared to the others. But at the moment, he's doing a job to help out Sebastian Vettel a little bit, who is closing in. Not particularly quickly, but quickly enough to concern Bottas, I'd imagine. Will Bottas have a look into... He will have a look into turn 6. Doesn't quite get that one done. Could have done with the Danny Rick move that was made on him a year previous. But there is now surely Bottas in turn 7 with the better traction. No, he can't. Leclerc defending really well. Nice and aggressive. Some debris flicks up there as well. I assume that's on the track, some tyre rubber. But yeah, Vettel, a couple of tenths on that lap at the moment, so maybe. Surely with him that close, he'll just breeze past on this straight. He should be cruising through the DRS. Leclerc flying through turn 13, now onto that long straight, and Bottas should be quite comfortably past with the better traction off that corner, and the DRS as well. He's already alongside before we even got to DRS. What's Leclerc going to do? Tucks in, has a look to the outside, but that's not going to work, Charles. I wouldn't imagine. He might tuck back in and try it, but Bottas just gets through now and up into second place. Yeah, good point. Sorry. Martin Brundle just saying there in commentary, surprised that Leclerc didn't pit. That's what they did with Raikkonen a couple of times last year, wasn't it? They used him to hold up, and Bottas for Mercedes as well, to hold up somebody behind, and then as soon as that driver gets past, they pitted them. So that would have made a bit more sense. Yes, Bottas on new tyres. He's just pitted for a second time. Leclerc is the only one of the top 6 now because Gasly's in, who hasn't made a second pit stop. The team said plan B over the radio to Charles Leclerc. with Vettel pitting, I'm just wondering if Plan B is a one-stop strategy, but I think they'd be mad to with the lap times because Leclerc are 38.3, Vettel are 36.6, Verstappen are 36.6. And he's only 3/10 quicker than Leclerc. I know Leclerc's not Ricciardo. I know Ricciardo's not a threat down there at the moment, but yeah, I think they'd be crazy as Vettel sets the fastest up the race. I think they'd be crazy to not pit Leclerc now. Has he got any? I don't think he's got any fresh softs available. I'll just check with Pirelli over on the old Twitter. I'll do the race order in a minute. Don't panic. Let's see if there's anything here on what tyres they've got. I don't think Leclerc's got softs because he made a second run, didn't he? Yes, he did. So no new softs at all. So he's got another set of... No new tyres for Leclerc at the moment. And Leclerc continues. I think this is a bit silly from Ferrari because I think he's just going to end up P5. But running order on lap 41 of 56. I think a few of you will be very happy when this race comes to an end. Lewis Hamilton leads from Valtteri Bottas, 6.7 seconds the gap. They've both pitted twice and are on the medium tyres. Charles Leclerc, 8.9 off the lead, 2.2 behind Bottas in third place. He's pitted once and is on the hards. Sebastian Vettel, 1.8 behind his teammate on the mediums. He's in fourth with Max Verstappen fifth, 11 seconds further back on the Ferrari. He's on the mediums as well as his teammate Pierre Gasly, 34 seconds behind his teammate. It's sixth place for Gasly, but that's not great at all. That's a huge gap. That is a huge gap. Daniel Ricciardo, P7, 6.9 behind Gasly. He's on the hards. Sergio Perez, 1.5 behind Ricciardo. He's kept him honest all race, to be fair to Checo. Might be able to make a late charge for seventh place. He's on the hards. One stop for him as well. Kimi Raikkonen, 9th, 2.3 seconds is the gap to Perez. That's the hards for him. And Alex Albon rounds out that top 10, 14.7 behind Raikkonen. Also on the hards, as is Lance Stroll in 11th. Just 1.6 behind Albon. So could Lance Stroll pick up a point here? I nearly called them Force India again, for Racing Point. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Romain Grosjean, 14 seconds and a lap down behind Lance Stroll. Medium tyres there. Magnussen mediums. He's in 13th, 4.5 seconds behind his teammate. Antonio Giovinazzi, 11.5 behind Magnussen on the mediums. Carlos Sainz in 15th place, 10.1 behind Giovinazzi on the soft tyres at the moment. He's pitted twice. 3 stops. Sorry, I've missed Russell in 16th place as Kvyat passes him anyway, so it doesn't matter. Kvyat is 16th. 3 stops for him. One of those, of course, being a drive-through. He's on the softs. Russell just passed by Kvyat, as I was saying there, 17th at the moment on the hard tyres. 25 seconds clear of his teammate, who's also on the hard tyres. Kubica did run long, so that won't have helped his pace at all. Lando Norris is last at the moment after that first lap incident with Kvyat and his teammate, 5.2 seconds behind Kubica. He's on the soft tyres, pitted 3 times, and Nico Hülkenberg is your one and only retirement. That was very early on in the race, actually, with mechanical problems, and Ferrari will just swap these two over, I'd imagine. Because Leclerc is really struggling for pace. In fact, if I'll just wait to see how quickly Vettel gets past here. Should do it on the straight, but the gap between Leclerc and Verstappen is now 13 seconds. So I think Verstappen's on for P4 here, again. Ali says Grosjean call a safety car. I love reading Still I Rise in chat. He does make me chuckle. This will be Vettel just breezing past Leclerc. Absolutely done and dusted. And he won't bother fighting that. He's on the very poor tyres. I'm quite surprised. It is lap, by the way, lap 43. 43 of 56. And Leclerc does pit. Leclerc in the pits. Some people downbeat on Twitter. The season's over because we've had 3 races. So Leclerc, but it is a brand. Oh, it's a brand. Of course he did. Of course he did. Brand new set of mediums. And started on the older mediums, which he qualified on. So he's got new mediums. His lap times are critical now because he's only got 13, 14 laps to pull this off now. Little stutter as he pulls away. Just watch the onboard. Is it? I was just trying to look at his steering wheel. He seemed to stop and look at the mechanics as if he didn't feel like it was time to go. The light went green. As into the pits comes Kvyat to retire. Not a good race from him at all. So I managed to jinx him yesterday. So apologies to Danny Kvyat, but he's out. Dan Ellis says Leclerc is showing amazing talent. Vettel should be scared, and Hamilton odds on for the 6th world title. I guess it depends what Bottas can do. Is the question. It's Hamilton first at the moment, TY. I will run through the order again in a few laps' time. But yeah, I'm still kind of hoping that Planet F1 might start working in the next few minutes so I can go over to the watch on screen, but we're running out of time in this race and I don't think they are going to. So once again, apologies if you are new. I do tend to have the live timing up, but it's not working at the moment. So yeah, torpedo disarmed. Very good. What is going on at Haas? They are bad, bad, bad. It says Metal Gear Solid Snake. Magnussen said after qualifying he wasn't confident for the race on the race pace. Grosjean was quite happy. Joseph Edwards says the third 1-2 for Merck. FIA failed again for making F1 closer racing. See, my comeback argument to that is always, is it that the FIA failed or is it that Ferrari and Red Bull weren't good enough in developing the car? Over the winter, Mercedes have got the leap. We've seen regulation changes a couple of times over the last few years, haven't we, where they've tried to close the field up, and it's worked. It has worked in the past, but Mercedes have always been better with what they've built. So it's... I understand people's frustration when there is one team dominating. I get it. Of course, as a Schumacher fanboy, I flipping well loved it, 2000 to 2004. But I understand people's concerns with that. But the thing is, I don't think it's the FIA's job to slow the leading team down. It's up to those behind to close the gap. And Ferrari look like they've done it in the winter. What is going on? They look like they've done it in the winter. Bahrain, they look like the team to beat. Obviously, then they beat themselves with the mechanical problems on Leclerc's car and Vettel's spin. But again, they look good in first practice, and then it all kind of is falling away again. So, long way to go this year. Spain could be quite a pivotal race in the first sort of half of the season because that's obviously the B-spec cars turn up. Would it be a C-spec for Mercedes? They almost sort of bought a B-spec to testing, didn't they? I know that was the car they wanted to, but... We've got Kimi Räikkönen at the moment having a squabble with Sergio Perez. Lance Stroll falling back, by the way, on Alex Albon, so a point doesn't look like... I tell you what, actually. Just Perez and Albon could be good shouts for driver of the day. In fact, funnily enough, the votes just come up on screen on the official feed, but I think Albon pit lane to points. And then you've got Perez from, 13th, 14th? That really good first lap. I think they'd be a good shout. Kimi Räikkönen as well. I think 8th, 9th and 10th, Perez, Räikkönen and Albon might get a few votes on this driver of the day. We will do that with a couple of laps to go. Last time I tried to do driver of the day, the stream went down, so hopefully no problems. I mean, I think the vote will probably go to Lewis Hamilton because he's the winner, and he's controlled this race brilliantly. And he's been comfortable. Martin Brundle just saying there that Leclerc needs over a second a lap over Verstappen if he's going to close him down. The gap is currently 2.9. And 2.9? It's not. It's 12.9. 13 seconds if you like. And we've got, 10 laps to go? So 1.3 seconds quicker on that lap as they go across the line. So he's got it at the moment. Hassan wants to know what's wrong with Nico. I'm not sure, to be honest. I've not seen anything yet. I'll tell you what, before I do a rundown, I will just fly off and just check the Renault Twitter feed. They don't tend to say too much during the race regarding retirements, but I'll see if there is anything on there. Let's have a look. Just says, unfortunate news, Nico's car has been retired. So there's no word as to why they've retired at Renault. But yes, he's out. Hopefully we'll know something by the race reaction, which will be about, what are we at now? 8:30 in the UK. 10 laps to go. Probably getting on for about 9:45, 10 o'clock before we go live. I don't think it's going to be the longest live stream we've ever had. There's not a huge amount to talk about, but I'm sure me and Stuart can waffle on about something between us. We've got the knack of gobbing off and talking nonsense when we need to, as you'll remember from testing streams. If you were around for those, we were able to talk for 8 hours at times. Oh, it was fun though. We had so much fun. Great stories about pot noodles and Manam. Come back in February for more brilliant F1 content. Hamilton leads from Bottas on lap 47, 6.7 seconds a gap, 4.6 Vettel to Bottas, or Bottas to Vettel. Not too much in terms of lap times, but I don't think Vettel's going to get him. I'd be very surprised if Mercedes haven't turned things down a little bit. Hamilton 1:36.4, Bottas a 35.8. So yeah, Verstappen in fourth place, 11 seconds behind Vettel, and now just 12.1 clear of Leclerc. He's going to need more than that if he's going to do it. I don't think Leclerc is. Pierre Gasly in sixth place, very surprised by how far off he is of his teammate after a better qualifying. Daniel Ricciardo seventh with Sergio Perez in eighth and Kimi Raikkonen in ninth place, but that's the squad we're watching now. Raikkonen on Perez, half a second between them, and Alex Albon at the moment in 10th place from the pit lane, of course, and is 8.4 seconds clear of Grosjean, so relatively comfortable. It's a one stop as well by the look of it from Albon, so he's done that really well. That's been managed really well from Toro Rosso. Good strategy. Kevin Magnussen in 12th place. Lance Stroll in 13th. So Magnussen has passed Stroll. Someone have missed that. Might have been a pit stop. Antonio Giovinazzi 14th. Carlos Sainz in 15th. George Russell 16th. Lando Norris 17th. 18th Robert Kubica. And your two retirements. Daniel Kvyat. I'd imagine he's just had enough. And Nico Hulkenberg with some form of mechanical issue. And as soon as Renault give us some news on that, I will let you know. The fastest lap of the race for those asking is Sebastian Vettel. Good question. Because, of course, that is worth a point now. So at the moment, Vettel on for 16 points, but unfortunately for him, Lewis Hamilton is on for 25 and Valtteri Bottas for 18. Mercedes again 43, which means out of a possible, I'm not even doing the maths, they're going to be 1 point shy of the maximum points tally that they could have gained in the first three races. That is about as close to a perfect start to the season as you can have as a team. And it's back-to-back wins for Lewis Hamilton as well. So watching Raikkonen and Perez at the moment. Raikkonen just falling back a little bit, 1.2 seconds. Yeah, Albon has pitted. Might be no, he's not pitted. Oh, the timing screen just flashed up with something. I thought it was Albon pitting, but it wasn't. It might have just been a slower sector or something. So apologies. He's not pitted. Albon is not pitted. Hamilton on team radio though. So Hamilton asking if Valtteri's under pressure. Team said he's not at the moment. It's under control, but it might come towards the end of the race. We're coming towards the end of the race now. We're coming up to lap 50 of 56. I will do a running order on about lap 53. So give it a 2 or 3 more laps, and then I'll fly through it. But I can't see Vettel catching Bottas. Bottas last lap 36.6 and Vettel a 36.4. So he's going to need much more than that. 4.6 seconds a gap. Leclerc a second quicker on that lap. The gap is still 10 seconds. It doesn't look like Charles Leclerc is going to be getting anywhere near Verstappen really for the overtake. Not smart by Ferrari in strategy. I don't know why I'm saying that like it's a surprise. But yeah, not. I don't understand. You know, they couldn't double stack like Mercedes did because there's just no way. There's no way. The gap was only 1.4 seconds, I think, at the time, or 1.5 seconds. Not enough. So that's not going to work. And I just don't understand why they didn't pull him in the lap after Vettel, because they only left him out 4 laps longer. It's not, do you know what I mean? It's not like he'd stayed out for 10, 12, 15 laps or something like that. he came in 4 laps later. So it just, to me, it makes no sense, especially if you're then going to two-stop him anyway, to leave him out. I can't. There'll be a reason. Ferrari have all the numbers. They, I assume, know what they're doing. But it's surprising. And then when Bottas did get past him, they left him out for another couple of laps rather than just pulling him straight in. So it's an odd one. Connor, it is lap 50 of 56. I'm going to do a rundown on lap 52, I think. And then again, probably with a couple of laps to go to let you all know. It's been one of those races. It's not been a thriller if you're just tuning in. It's been a little bit quiet. I think, I can't remember who said it in chat. It might have been Nick who said it in chat. But I think the problem is all the hype that's been built around it. This was always going to be a bit anticlimactic. And also, after what we saw in Bahrain, kind of expecting it to be brilliant, but it kind of hasn't delivered. So Vettel has a fast lap. Leclerc, Hamilton asking if Leclerc has got it. That's a good point. I'd assume they'll have to go for fastest. I will want to go for fastest lap for the point. But the gap is 10 seconds to Verstappen. Leclerc is not going to catch Verstappen. He is not going to catch Verstappen, so he may as well go for fastest lap. But at the moment, it's not happening. Vettel still holds that. Still holds that. Have a quick drink before we go through the running order again. We're at lap 50, still at 56. This lap seems to be going on forever. Thank you very much, Smashy Pumpkin, for subscribing there. Don't forget, if you are new, to hit that subscribe button. Like I say, usually we have live timing from Planet F1, but it's not been working today, so we can't do that. We're live again about an hour after the Grand Prix for some race reaction with Chamber. And then I'll be back tomorrow with the debrief around 4 to 5 p.m, somewhere around there, UK time. And then a couple of videos next week, probably. Maybe a live stream on the Sunday. And then obviously it'll be back to building up for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. So yes, we do these watch-alongs every weekend. We do one for qualifying, although that kind of is still up in the air as to whether that's a permanent feature or whether that's just going to be for the first few races of the season. But the race watch-alongs are going nowhere, and that's the same as well with the post-race reaction stream, unless, of course, FOM decide they want to slap me with something. Or a strike. Again, that could have been worded so much better. I'm off. I'm off. Not good. Not good. Oh dear. Renault just updating now. I wonder if there's anything on Hulkenberg before we go through this order again. No, not at the moment. Nothing on Hulkenberg still. So I'm sure we'll get something hopefully before the race reaction. Fingers crossed. So Leclerc saying on team radio has a problem with the gears. Yeah, that might be why the gap's not coming down. 9.4. He's still quicker. Half a second, but that's not enough. That is not enough by a long way. 5 laps to go. So let's fly through. I'm ignoring that comment in chat. It's a good one, but I'm ignoring it. Because it'll just get me moaned at. So yeah, right. So the running order is Hamilton leading. 6.1 seconds clear of Bottas with 5 to go. Lap 52 of 56. Sebastian Vettel in 3rd place, now falling away from Bottas, so that's not going to happen. Max Verstappen in 4th place, 9.4 seconds clear of Leclerc. That's not going to happen either, as Hamilton laps what I assume is Kimi Raikkonen up to 9th place. That makes completing me graphics later a little bit easier. Charles Leclerc, that's all that matters in a race, is that my life's easier. 5th place for Leclerc. As I was saying, 9.3 back. Gasly, 30 seconds behind Leclerc, 41 off his teammate. I think more importantly for Gasly, though, that's 6th place. It's points on the board again. He could do with that after his difficult start to the year. 7th for Daniel Ricciardo. 8th for Sergio Perez. Really good from him. Pulling away from Raikkonen now. 4.1 seconds the gap and a couple of tenths quicker again on that last lap. Kimi Raikkonen, Perez is the last one on the lead lap, but I think that's going to change in a moment. Teams and everything's okay with the gearbox on Leclerc, by the way. So 9th for Raikkonen, 10th for Albon, 18.1 behind Kimi. He is hanging on to that final point. Grosjean is 9/10 of a second behind him. The one stop at the moment looks to be not really working for Albon. Can he hang on? I don't think he will. It looks like Grosjean's going to get him comfortably quicker a second on that last lap. Kevin Magnussen, 38.7. He's in 12th. He might be able to get Albon as well. It's about a second quicker. I don't think there's enough time, really. Definitely not. Lance Stroll in 13th. Antonio Giovinazzi 14th. Sainz in 15th. Norris 16th, but in the pits. I assume Norris is pulling in to retire now. 17th or now 16th for Russell. That will put Kubica up to 17th. And Lando Norris is going to be classified 18th because he's done 90% of the race, but he is pitting. I assume that is to retire. Everybody's 2 stopped except for Ricciardo, Perez, Raikkonen and Albon and Kubica. So they've all 1 stopped. Kvyat did 3 stops before he retired. 1 stop for Hulkenberg before retirement, and Norris did 3 stops before he's retired, and he has been wheeled into the garage. So McLaren deciding to give up for those final few laps. Surprised they didn't do it earlier, to be fair, but I suppose you never know if you're going to get a safety car. So yes, there we go. Will Benson saying Leclerc has gearbox issues. The team radio I just heard was that it was fine. So we'll see. I'll keep an ear out. I'll tell you what we'll do then. I'll just double check, so this might be a jinx. I'll pop out the chat. And I'll ask you guys for your driver of the day. Who is your driver of the day? 1 surname would be great. But we'll see, yes. And that's not calling Alex, it's Chris. It's Chris Alvin. But yeah, let me know your driver of the day in the chat. I'll give some quick shout-outs before I do another rundown towards the end of the race. I don't think we're going to see too much action now. Albon for Jose, Hamilton for Tom, Perez for Path. Perez for Path. That sounds great. That's your Albon name. Albon driver of the day for Con's Life. Stein feels the same. Lewis for Rocky. Jim's going Albon. Judith's going Albon. Raikkonen for Jose as well. Hamilton for Jay. See Perez getting another shout. Ricardo says Michael Styles. He started 7th, finished 7th. He's been quiet though, hasn't he? He's kind of got on for it. So yeah, maybe a good shout. A few people might go that way. That was a bit more high pitched than it needed to be. Apologies. Albon, Perez, Ricardo, Hulkenberg. Definitely not Kvyat Raymond, I'm afraid. Jose saying Perez. Jordan says Vettel. Kimi for Flying Tiger. Lewis. So it looks like at the moment, looking at your comments, Perez again there. Perez, Albon, Hamilton and Raikkonen are the favourite ones. So I wonder who's going to get the official one. Probably Verstappen. I'm joking. Yeah, cheeky from Joseph there. Another one saying Vettel there. That is, in comes Gasly for a pit stop. So I think Red Bull are about to go for fastest lap with Alex Albon. Gasly pitting, indeed, Judith. Kimi, yeah, it looks like they are the route we're going here. So Albon, Kimi, and Hamilton, and there was one more, Perez as well. I think Perez has been really good today. Really, really good. And without spoiling too much for later, he could be my driver of the day. I don't think, if Albon could hang on to the points, which I don't, there's Magnussen, Albon's gone wide, Grosjean trying to get through, but if he can hang on to this point, Alex Albon, I think he's going to struggle because we are going on to the last lap of the race, which, have they been lapped? They've been lapped, so when Hamilton crosses, he's just got to hang on for one more lap as Alexander Albon. I think it's one more lap because Hamilton will be round soon. I'm going to say 2 laps just to cover my backside here, but Grosjean is going to be all over him. Albon, I'm surprised he's lasted this long, actually. At the rate that Grosjean was closing him down. This is the fight then for the final points. There is nothing else out there unless you're excited about Giovinazzi versus Sainz for the 14th and 15th. This is the fight. And Gasly going fastest lap. 34.8 is the current fastest lap. So this is where we go. Gasly going for fastest lap. This is what this whole fastest lap thing is supposed to be. But I'm just watching. He's on the fastest tyre as well. So low fuel, everything turned up. Fastest tyre. Go on, Pierre. Let's see what we can do. Vettel's currently got the fastest lap, by the way, so Vettel fans will be fingers crossed that this doesn't work out. Gasly fans will be hoping it does. So Albon, 1.1 clear of Grosjean. So Albon actually pulling away a little bit there. By a second in the middle sector. So what happened? We could do the replay. Hamilton starts the final lap. Grosjean's falling away. 2 seconds the gap now. That's gone from about 0.2 to 2 seconds. So it would have been nice if TV had picked up on that one. But you know what TV are like. So very quickly, final lap. Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Verstappen, Leclerc, Gasly, Ricciardo, Perez, Raikkonen, Albon, and breathe. Grosjean, Magnussen, Stroll, Sainz, Giovinazzi, Russell, Kubica out of the race on Norris, Fiat, and Hulkenberg. So Hamilton cruising to victory and being in complete control. Bottas comfortable in second. We're waiting now to see what Gasly can do. He's a personal best in the first sector. It is not enough at the moment for fastest lap. Personal best in the middle. He'll get one more go at it, I think. Because I don't think he's been lapped. He hasn't. So he'll get one more go at it. And Alex Albon, 9/10 clear of Grosjean on this last lap. Can he hang on to that point? Pit lane to points for Alex Albon would be fantastic. And those that were screaming yesterday, I saw a few on Twitter saying he should be dropped for Hartley because Hartley showed improvement. Alex Albon is about to get very close to Hartley's tally from the entire season last year. And there's been 3 races. So, yes, great performance from him in Bahrain. I think we're going to get another one here. Can he hang on 6/10 the gap to Grosjean? My foot, I'm doing a horn jiggle with my foot. It's ridiculous. But Lewis Hamilton through the hairpin in turn 14 towards the final corner. It's been comfortable, I think is probably the word for this one. He was lucky back in Bahrain, but no luck needed here. Fantastic start. Controlled the race. Alain Prost flies the flag as Lewis Hamilton wins the Chinese Grand Prix. It's going to be another Mercedes 1-2 unless Bottas manages to really mess up the final couple of corners. I'd be surprised. But over the line he comes. That is 3 consecutive 1-2 finishes for Mercedes. Across the line for Vettel in third place. Alex Albon a second clear of Grosjean. Gasly sets the fastest lap of the race as well. A 1:34.7. He has the point for fastest lap. Max Verstappen comes home in fourth place. Charles Leclerc, I think, will be very disappointed with fifth place and won't be overly happy. But it is points. And I think Alex Albon goes across the line and hangs on to 10th place. He's a lap down, of course. So Alex Albon, pit lane to points. Fantastic drive. Obviously, Sergio Perez will be coming through as well for 8th. Those crossing the line, of course, are a lap down now, so it's all over. Perez is going to be 8th. Ricciardo 7th. Perez 8th. Raikkonen 9th. Albon did get 10th. Grosjean in 11th. 12th for Stroll. 13th for Magnussen. 14th for Sainz. 15th for Gio. 16th for George Russell. 17th for Kubica. And then Norris, Fiat and Hulkenberg failed to finish. There you go. So, yeah. Gasly did get the fastest lap of 34.7, 3/10. 3/10 in the end. Well. There we go. Don't really know. So I'll go through the order properly again before I end in a few minutes. But I'll keep watching to see what reaction we've got. And driver of the day has gone to Alex Albon. I think that's a fair shout. Pit lane to points is a very good drive. On one stop as well. So to make that work and to hold Grosjean off at the end is a very, very good job. Very, very good job. So for... I don't think men will be disappointed with that, to be fair. Hamilton Team Radio. Having a listen. 75th win of his career, apparently. He's won his 75th at the 1000th race. These things do happen in Formula 1, don't they? It's quite strange how it manages to happen. But yes. Very good race from Lewis Hamilton. Very good race from Perez and Albon. I think Raikkonen as well. I think Verstappen deserves a shout for 4th. He was nice and racing with Vettel at times, but didn't quite have that pace in the end. So yeah, there we go. That is it. it's over. Don't forget, if you are new, by the way, to smash that subscribe button. And before you go, please do drop a like on the video. Once again, it's massively appreciated. It really helps the channel out, and it only takes a second. So please do drop a like before you disappear. I'll be back in about an hour. I will go through the order, don't worry, but I'll be back in about an hour for the race reaction with Stuart, aka Chamber. But very quickly, your final order for the day as they come through to start their podium celebrations. Lewis Hamilton took the win, 6.5 seconds up the road from teammate Valtteri Bottas. Sebastian Vettel third, with Max Verstappen in fourth. Charles Leclerc finished fifth in the second Ferrari. Sixth place for Pierre Gasly, but he did get that fastest lap on the last lap, so an extra point in there for him. Bit of a confidence boost maybe. Daniel Ricciardo, quite a quiet day really. Started 7th, finished 7th, was quite quick to pull away from those behind. Sergio Perez, really good recovery up to 8th place. Another one that deserves a shout for driver of the day. Kimi Raikkonen as well in 9th. And Alex Albon, the official driver of the day, went from pit lane, as I keep saying, to the points. Very good drive. Romain Grosjean just missing out in the end on that final point. Lance Stroll was 12th, Kevin Magnussen in 13th, Carlos Sainz 14th, Antonio Giovinazzi was 15th, with George Russell 16th, and Robert Kubica 17th. Your three retirements were Lando Norris, Daniel Kvyat, and Nico Hülkenberg. Yes, so thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Like I say, don't forget to subscribe and to hit that like button as well. Back in about an hour for the race reaction stream, where we're just going to sit and chat about the race a bit. Not a lot to talk about, so we'll see where we end up with that one. And if you're more interested in a proper review that's a little bit shorter than a 40-minute live stream, then the debrief will be up tomorrow between somewhere around 5 p.m. UK time tomorrow evening. Don't forget you can follow me on social media. Links to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and of course to Discord are all in the description down below. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, no copyright strike and goodbye.